Before we get into the video, link down below is a card, the Black Lives Matter card. It will lead you to various places to donate and lead you to various ways to help out. This is not something we can stop talking about. We have to keep talking about it. Share whatever resources you can, boost and uplift Black voices, and don't stop. Hello, welcome back to Stardust Reads. I'm Chris, and today I am going to be going over my August TBR. Now, normally I wouldn't be doing a TBR for the month. I normally do Readathon TBRs. I just think that is more helpful to me than just saying, these are the books I want to read this month, because I really don't plan my reading. I just read what I feel like reading, and if I want to read books for a secret TBR video or something like that, I just read the books. But August is different because there are two readathons I'm definitely doing, and they both start on the same day. One is 2 weeks long and the other is a month long, so I'm just gonna do my TBR for both in this video, and that will probably encompass all my August reads. Obviously I'm not certain, but that is probably how it's going to work out. The first readathon I'm going to be talking about is the trope-ical readathon. This takes place the entire month of August. For every prompt you're given a trope, and there's an alternative prompt related to the trope. No doubling up is allowed, and there are 5. There are, I think, 5 teams you can do. You can read outside of the genre for your teams, but there are specific team prompts you have, and there are also group books for each team. I'm going to be doing the science fiction and fantasy team. I don't have to read books entirely from the genre, but that is the team prompts for this book do best fit my reading tastes and what I want to read. So the group book for Team SFF is Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Bayron. So one of the team prompts is read a book featuring time travel. For this, I am going to be rereading This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal El-Moutar and Max Gladstone. This follows 2 rival agents in the Time War as they swap letters and begin to fall in love. I've been meaning to reread it for a while now, and I'm going to be taking this chance to finally do it. The second and final team prompt is read a book featuring a magical academy. For this, I'm going to be reading Vita Nostra by Marina and Sergei Dychenko. This is a Ukrainian fantasy novel. It follows a young woman after she is forced to go to a mysterious magical university that has a dark underbelly. I had actually never heard of this book before I set out to make my TBR, but I was looking for a book that was set in a magical academy because these are not typically something I'm interested in. I don't seek these out. So I stumbled across this one, and it just sounded perfect. It sounded like something I would be interested in. So I went and put a hold on it on my library. I will definitely have it in time for the readathon, or in the very least to read it before the readathon ends. Moving on, we have the challenges that everyone completes. So the first one is Absent or Dead Parents. For this, I'm going to be rereading The Wicker King by Kay Ankrum. This follows 2 young men, August and Jack. When Jack starts seeing these very vivid hallucinations, August decides to help them, and they end up going on a journey to fulfill a dark prophecy. This is one of my favorite books I've read so far in 2020. I read it not too long ago in June, and I am very excited to reread it because I do think this is the story that when I reread it, I am going to get more out of it than I did my first read. The next prompt is Strange Names. This is also going to be a reread by the time this video goes up. For this, I'm going to be reading The Scapegracers by Hannah Abigail Clark. This is a book about a lesbian teenage witch starting a coven with the popular girls at her school. I am currently, as I film this video, reading an e-arc of this, and I'm actually expecting a physical arc in the mail sometime soon. I'm enjoying it quite a bit already, and I I'm definitely going to have this finished by the time August rolls around, but I do think rereading it will help me make my review stronger. The reason this qualifies for Strange Names is that the main character is nicknamed Sideways, and that is what she goes by. And I promise from here on out the TBR is less reread heavy. The next prompt is outbreak/pandemic. The alternate prompt is read a book that is part of a series, and for this I actually have two options for each prompt. I know I said there wouldn't be any more rereads, but if I end up going with the outbreak/pandemic prompt, I'm going to be reading Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. This is a novel that features a wide cast of characters. A few timelines are set prior to the apocalypse, and some are set after the apocalypse. The apocalypse being a flu outbreak that killed a majority of the human population. So basically we follow these characters both pre- and post-pandemic and learn more about them. It is a book I enjoyed quite a bit, and I'm looking forward to reread number 3. If I go with a book that is part of a series, I'm going to be reading Iron Gold by Piers Brown. This is the 4th book in the Red Rising saga, and it is the first book in the new trilogy. It is the 4th book in a series, so I can't go into too much detail, but Red Rising is a book that follows Darrow after the death of his wife, and as he begins to infiltrate the highest level of his society. And this takes place a good many years after the first book, and even a good few years after the end of the original trilogy. It's another reread for the next prompt. The next prompt is Forbidden Romance. I'm going to be rereading Crier's War by Nina Varela. This is the first book in a duology. It follows 2 young women. One is named Crier. She is the heir to the Automata, and those are a group of androids, essentially. They're essentially androids. And Ayla, who is a member of the Resistance and is chosen to become Crier's handmaiden after she saves Crier's life. She originally plans to murder Crier to avenge her family, but she eventually decides that she's going to be a spy for the Resistance instead. It follows the 2 of them as not only they try to advance their political goals, but also as they begin to fall in love. The next prompt is... oh god, there's gonna be another reread, fuck. The prompt is a dystopian, or a book that is over 500 pages. I'm going to be rereading The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon is a epic fantasy standalone novel. It follows a cast of characters. The main thread between them all is that they are all somehow connected to dragons. This is the biggest book I've ever read, and also the biggest book I own. I've been meaning to reread it for a while now, and I'm using this readathon as an opportunity to reread it, and apparently to reread all my other favorites. Blast from the Past, a book from a... The next prompt is Blast from the Past, or a book from a different generation. This is also a reread, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. This is a book I read in 8th grade. I don't remember anything about it, but I'm going to reread it because I remember not liking it, and I want to see if my feelings have changed as I've gotten older. The next prompt is mixed media, or an audiobook. I'm going to be listening to an audiobook for this one. I do not have an audiobook picked out for this specifically because I mostly read audiobooks, artificial intelligence, or an ebook. Again, I don't have anything specific picked out for this one. The next prompt is Amnesia, a book you forgot you owned, or a book you forgot was on your TBR. For this, I went into my closet and picked the first book that sounded interesting to me. This is Young Mutants. It is an anthology about mutants. It is edited by Isaac Asimov, Martin Greenberg, and Charles... that name. That's who it's edited by. Next is Enemies to Lovers / Friends. For this, I'm going to be reading Tell Me How You Really Feel by Amina May Safi. Sana asked Rachel out on a date, but Rachel thought it was a joke and has hated Sana since. but they end up working together on a school project and become closer. That's good. This is a sapphic book I've been meaning to get to for a while. Next is a book that has the Chosen One trope. For this I'm going to be reading The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. I have the dust jacket here because I have the actual book right off camera at the bottom of a huge stack of books, and I don't feel like actually grabbing it right now. I don't actually know how well this book fits the Chosen One trope, but I do know that the short story it is based off of does follow the Chosen One trope, so I'm hoping that, remained. In this universe, every city has a soul, and New York has 5. And basically, we are following the people that are the embodiments of the 5 souls of New York. The next prompt is The New Kid in Town, or read a book that is in a genre you don't normally read. For this, I'm reading Searching for Sylvie Lee by Jean Kwok. This is, I think, technically classified as a thriller, but the way I've heard people talk about it, they say it is better thought of as a literary fiction, and that is why I'm choosing it here. I do not read a lot of literary fiction, but essentially this follows a mother and a daughter as they try to find their daughter and sister respectively who went missing. The final prompt is retelling. For this, I'm going to be reading Anna K by Jenny Lee. This is a retelling of Anna Karenina. I have actually started this. I got about 70, 80 pages in, but I did put it down, and I'm going to be starting it from the beginning for this readathon. I am very excited. I really liked what I've read so far, and I don't know, I just love the drama of it all. I'm very excited to pick this up. Moving on to the next TBR. The Avatar The Last Page Turner readathon. This readathon was inspired by Avatar The Last Airbender. It runs from August 1st to August 14th. And for this, you basically pick an element, and that is your team, and each team has prompts. Keep in mind, there's actually going to be some overlap with this and the TBR you guys have already watched. So I won't be going in depth about the books I've mentioned that I already talked about. Okay, I chose water, and the first prompt is read a book with blue on the cover. My options for this are This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal El-Mohtar and Max Gladstone, Searching for Sylvie Lee by Jean Kwok, and Anna K by Jenny Lee. Other options are Topics of Conversation by Miranda Popke and Mermaid Moon by Susan Cockrell. Mermaid Moon, Topics of Conversation, and Searching for Sylvie Lee can all count towards the next prompt, which is read a book with water on the cover. The next prompt is read a book that features a indigenous main character that is written by an indigenous author. For this, I'm going to be reading Future Home of a Living God. This is a literary fiction book following an indigenous main character after a climate apocalypse, or as the climate apocalypse is about to happen. I am unclear. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!